Why, hello there. I am the Monster Girl Hunter, and as everyone knows, a hunter should know their prey. As such, we'll be looking into monster girls, both in folklore and pop culture. Our sources will be generally Wikipedia, Shin Megami Tensei fan sites, as they have a large compendium of demons and gods, and Kinku Cross's Monster Girl Encyclopedia Volume 1. Today we will be concentrating on Fiends, the general story of the Monster Girl Encyclopedia. In a world with a Hellenistic pantheon, monsters exist. Originally, they were meant as a check for humankind, as they were all vicious, human-eating monsters. Whenever humans became too numerous, the Overlord, or the strongest demon, would ascend, and a pulse of power would go through every monster, driving them insane, where they go out and eat all the humans. Then, the lead goddess would give one human divine power to go out and fight the demons, and they would eventually slay the Overlord, thus calming all the demons down. In the case of what brought about all these monster girls, a succubus rose to be the Overlord, and when she ascended, her power went through the connection between all monsters and transformed them into sex-addicted female monsters. When the divine warrior showed up to slew her, he instead joined her, and as Succubus gained power through sex, his divine power he was given supercharged hers and made her basically unstoppable. Now let us begin with the Succubus, not necessarily Overlord, but the lower version. The Succubus is a high-order fiend in possession of potent abilities. Succubus tend to be found in the monster realm, though the monster realm is not the only place they are found. They are known to take human form and infiltrate human settlements. In the previous Overlord's reign, Succubus were monsters of intermediate status, but their position has risen considerably since the ascension of the new Overlord. Under her influence, all monsters now look like women and can feed off the essence of males. Even before the current Overlord, Succubus took the appearance of women and lived by feeding off the essence of human men. There is considerable degree of variance in their appearance to accommodate the range of passions among men, from voluptuous succubi to those more diminutive in form. Read childish whenever you hear diminutive. However, they all share the lascivious beauty that excites the male desire. As an appearance, their great individual variation and personality, but all possess a faithful dedication to lust and desire. Succubus are imbued with powerful magic and use it almost exclusively to seduce men. When a succubus is drawn to a particular man, she applies a range of methods, such as seductive magic or inviting figure, to draw him to engage her in sexual intercourse and gather his essence. Only the most strong-willed men have any hope of escaping the wiles of a succubi. If a succubus is a man's essence and finds him to her taste, she will carry him off to the home of her succubi in the monster realm. Men, however, are not the only humans subjected to the hunger of succubi. Succubi also seek out human women, infect them with mana during sex, and turn them into a succubus like themselves. A human woman who has recently turned into a succubus is known as a lesser succubus. But it's not only women who are turned into monsters. Succubus also inject mana into their male partners while mating. When a man is exposed to mana, his libido swells, and he produces large quantities of semen. After a brief yet intense transformation, his humanity is overpowered, and he becomes a being called an incubus. He lives on the mana acquired through copulation with a succubus. Once this occurs, presumably doomed to spend eternity in sexual congress with the succubus. This is from Kinku Cross, however. Wikipedia. Succubus are female demons that seduce and consume men through sexual activity. Used to cover infidelity of husbands and to explain wet dreams. The male counterpart is incubus, used to explain impregnation of wives when their husbands are away or a virgin becoming pregnant. The name succubus was used in the 14th century. It came from succubi, meaning paramour. Succubi show up in Jewish mythical work by Zohar. Lilith, Adam's first wife that refused to obey him, she went on to have sex with Samuel, the angel of death. She was the first succubus and was one of the demon queens that had sex with Samuel. The other 3 demon queens were Ishilith, Agret, Bet, Mahalat, and Nahama. In folklore, succubus reproduce by stealing the semen from men and having the incubi use it to impregnate human women. From Shimigami Tensei's database, a demon from European folklore during the Middle Ages, which takes the form of an attractive female to seduce men. Its male counterpart is the incubus. They draw energy from men to sustain themselves, often until the point of exhaustion or death of the victim. The next fiend in Kinko Cross's book is the lesser succubus. As mentioned, it is a female woman who has sex with a succubus and is thus transformed into a lower form of the succubus. When she ingests the mana from the succubus, she is thrust onto a path of transformation into a succubus. Her first experiences are marked by surging receptivity to carnal passion and pleasure. She will often be parched for the moisture of semen, has only just become a monster, may still have vestiges of her human values. Her monster's body will flush with longing for a man, her hunger demolishing her frail human psyche. Thus uninhibited, she will seek out a man and attack him. At that first taste of magical pleasure, the first feast of masculine essence, her human values crumble, and she becomes a monster, body and soul, drowned in the pursuit of pleasure offered by the male form. Lesser succubi appear differently than their more mature sisters. Their horns are shorter, having just sprouted, and their bodies are lighter in pigmentation. They often have translucent wings and tails and fur on some areas of their body. Lesser succubi use mana to transform their body to become more enticing and seductive to men. The fur is to protect their bodies during the process. As the lesser succubi continues to collect male essence, her horns, wings, and tail grow larger, and her heart becomes more and more lustful until she has become a full succubus. Even after she is fully matured, she retains her basic personality and memories from when she was a human, but her values change completely to those of a succubus. And she will not hesitate to milk men for both pleasure and essence. There is no known way to restore a woman who has been turned into a succubus to humanity. If your lover is turned into a succubus, do not attempt to save her. Instead, flee immediately, unless you wish to be carried off into the monster realm to spend eternity with those sensual and lascivious fiends. An underlying theme in this volume is women's desire, to an almost mindless degree, to copulate with men, men's eventual slavery to the sex with that individual, marriage or strong monogamy between these monsters and their incubus, and a lot of rape, both magically with the seductive magic and physical female on male rape. Next are the Amazones, which, other than rumors of large cannibalistic women in the Amazon, there is no folklore for these monsters. Amazonesses are a variant of the succubi that live in their own village deep in the forest. They originate from a tribe of human women called the Amazons, which was raided by succubi after the current overlord took power. They were transformed almost entirely into monsters. All are trained from childhood as warriors and possess superior physical prowess and combat skills. They have a matriarchal society with gender roles opposite those of humans. Women wield weapons and fight as warriors to protect the helpless men and children, while men mind the houses in their wives' absence, comforting them when they return, tired from hunting or battle, by copulating with them and supplying them with essence. Amazonesses periodically assault human cities, capture human men of their liking, and take them back to the village as husbands. This is called man-hunting and is considered the only true way to become a proper warrior. Amazonesses have a unique set of values. They assert their femininity by mounting men in public intercourse as a display of power and ownership. It also serves to encourage Amazonesses who have not yet acquired a man to follow her example. When a new couple is formed, there is always a celebration in which large numbers of Amazonesses gather to watch the bride fornicate with the groom all night. This must surely encourage the unmated Amazonesses in attendance. One can imagine their excitement watching a true warrior copulate and dreaming of the day they too will seize a man and revile in the ecstasy of pounding themselves upon his member. If a man strays into the Amazonas territory, the unmated warriors will promptly commence manhunting. If a woman enters, they will capture her and flood her with mana, just as a succubus would, in order to make her one of them. After her change, they educate her as an Amazonas warrior, teaching her skills of combat and their social gender roles, and the best method to pleasure men. If a man and a woman stray together, they will greet her with an abundant welcome as a promising warrior who has already captured a man and give her a thorough warrior's education.